Hello.
Welcome.
Thank you. Sorry, my microphone's working now. How you doing, guys? Hello, everybody.
Congratulations. I mean, I know we're like less than 2 months out from the premiere of season 8, but I'm excited about this. I'm excited for you. Are you excited to have all these guys join us for the final adventure?
I certainly am. I'm very keenly aware that, no one ever doesn't like a series finale. Everyone always seems to be very, they don't create a petition to redo the final season.
No, never happens. Never happens.
I love finales, so I am very excited for people to come on the journey, but I'm also keenly aware that people are very particular about finales, so I'm a little nervous, but it's okay.
You guys have earned a lot of trust over the years, so I think so. What is your, just as an aside, what is your favorite series finale ever? What's the one that you think really stuck the landing?
See, people are going to be really upset because it's Lost. I love the finale of Lost. I liked the finale of Lost. I also really liked the finale of Seinfeld. Breaking Bad, I was like, yeah, sure, it's good. But I thought everything leading up to Breaking Bad was good. I liked the Game of Thrones finale once I realized that the last episode was effectively like an epilogue. Yeah. So, and I think that's going to be, it's going to be interesting for us for our finale because they announced that the crossover is the 8th episode, and I feel like everything after the crossover might be somewhat anticlimactic. So maybe ours will play like an epilogue as well. I'm not sure.
Yeah. I mean, it would make sense, sort of like a wind down after this big high. You need a little bit of a breather. But so we are going to jump right into questions. There is a microphone right there. You guys can calmly get in line. This is what I'm going to ask. Please keep it to one question per person. Let's try to make it an actual question. But also, all you guys in line, I know you're excited to ask your question, but do me a favor. If you are not directly at the microphone, squat down so the people in the back can see. We're going to be cool fans together. So that way we're not blocking the view. The people in the back appreciate it, I'm sure. Right, people in the back? Yeah, so squat down if you can. You want to dive right into questions? Yeah. Yeah, let's do it. Hi, how are you?
Hi. First of all, I'd like to say my dad wasn't able to be here, but he's a really big fan of the Green Arrow, and he asked me to tell you that you made his life much better and happier. Just thanks for that, so thank you.
Thank you.
And my question is, what are one of the things that you do to make sure you have a good work-life balance?
What do I try to do to have a good work-life balance?
Yeah.
I got really good at saying no. People actually say, I think about that a lot. The first sort of season and a half of the show, and I'm going to relate this mostly to Arrow because that's been the past 8 years of my life. I think that the show sometimes became a little bit more important than it should, and then you have a kid, and then they just ask you to do something, and you just go, no. But I think slotting in your priorities. For me it's family, me, work, and then everything will take care of itself.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
It takes a while to kind of reach that level of maturity to understand that, right?
Well, yeah, I mean, because, and I don't hold it against anyone, but people will take as much as you will give them, right? And my wife actually gave me this quote that I have, that I actually have up in my trailer that I think about all the time, and I try to read every day, and I'm paraphrasing just a little bit, but it's basically, we get angry at people when we're not getting from them what we need to be giving to ourselves. Does that make sense?
It does. It took me a second but it makes sense.
Good.
Yeah.
What's up, man?
Hey.
All right. Hey, how's it going?
Good.
First of all, thanks for everything. It's been a great 8 years, and it's got to come to an end. I don't want to get ahead of ourselves here. It's going to be a great final season. I'm excited about that. Not worried about the ending. Whatever it is, it'll be its own thing. Doesn't need to be anything else but Arrow. So that'll be cool.
Okay.
But after that, what's next for you? You know, my son and I loved Turtles. We loved Arrow. So what's next for Mr. Amell?
Is my dad here?
Where do you see yourself in the next 5 years?
I've recently closed on a new project that I'm really excited about that I am not allowed to talk about. It's on TV.
That's vague enough.
I think that news, I thought that the news was actually going to break last night, and I was kind of excited to talk about it today. But it's for me. Next question.
Yeah.
But something very soon.
So yeah, watch this space, I guess, as they say.
Yeah.
Hi.
Hi. So before you did Arrow, you did more comedic roles and stuff. Then it must have been challenging to switch tones. What do you think is the most challenging? What do you think is the most challenging acting challenge?
The most challenging type of acting?
Yeah. What is the most opposite your personality?
Oh man, the most opposite of my personality is early days as Oliver, right? And that was also one of the most challenging things because they wanted me to be very, very reserved and very stoic, and that can very easily come off as stiff and not talented. So that was really challenging. That was very far removed from my own personality. I'm much more easygoing, and we've actually tried in the final season and have been joking about this, to really try to bring in some levity to the character and some humor. You know, because I did hear a rumor once upon a time that Oliver Queen does has a sense of humor in the comics. So we've tried to bring a bit of that in. But I want to do more comedy as well. I love comedy.
Thank you.
Thank you.
You said you like Seinfeld. You're a big fan of the Seinfeld finale.
Yeah.
What's your all-time favorite Seinfeld episode? Is that putting you on the spot too much?
No. It was the one where my favorite episode, I think it was a finale, a season finale, where I can't remember what's happening with all the other characters, but George figures out that because every single one of his instincts that he has is wrong, that if he does the opposite, then by definition it's going to be right. And he just walks up. I remember he walks up to a beautiful woman in the coffee shop that they always go to, and he goes, "Hi, my name is George Costanza. I'm balding, unemployed, and I live with my parents." And she goes, "I'm Veronica. Hi."
Summer of George. Hi.
Hi. So I kind of mentioned this at your table, but John Barrowman at his panels tells very interesting stories about working on the set with you. And I was wondering if you happen to have any stories of your own of moments with John that are just crazy or absurd or anything.
Yeah. I've been waiting for him to tell this story, and he's had a couple of months, so this isn't my problem anymore. I'm going to tell it right now. We were at MegaCon in Orlando, and there's one washroom, like a private single stall or like washroom that they give to guests of the show, and John was in there, and I walked in, and just as I was washing my hands after, I look like right next to the toilet on a tray, and it's John's super expensive Rolex. It's just sitting right there. What is going on? And then he and I were going to duo photo ops, and I wore it for duo photo ops. And didn't tell him for like 90 minutes. And then I got impatient, and I just flashed my wrist at him, and he just goes, "Oh my God." I'm like, "What's going on here, John?" He goes, "The embarrassing thing is that I do that all the time." Okay, well, should probably work on that. Yeah.
All right. So if you find yourself in a bathroom after John Barrowman, look for the watch.
Yeah. and then run because
Yeah.
it's really nice.
Well, you got apparently a 90-minute head start before he notices, so yeah.
Okay, hello. Hey, man. So I know a lot of people ask you like who would win in a competition between you and Hawkeye, and which is ridiculous because the answer is obviously you.
Thank
And-
you.
But how do you think the Arrowverse and the MCU would play out if you and Hawkeye swap places?
I don't know.
So it's an interesting question, but it's such an odd.
It's an interesting question. It's kind of I mean, there's so many layers to the premise that we literally don't have enough time. But I don't know. I don't know if Hawkeye, I mean, we certainly do the same thing. I don't know if he's like my opposite or like the doppelganger of me in the MCU. I'm not sure. Although I've never felt like I like the comparison. I like that there's, I like that Marvel has their Green Arrow type and we have our Hawkeye type.
Yeah.
Although I think he's better with a sword based on Endgame. But I've never been intimidated by it. But then I saw a picture that a friend of mine took, and it went into our like group chat today. And she's standing there like hugging Jeremy Renner, and I got really mad. Is that Renner?
He's hugging my friends.
I don't know if I like this. Thanks, man.
There you go. Thank you. Hey there.
Hello. Mine's kind of like a part 2 / similar question to his. That's basically if Oliver Queen was in the MCU,
Sure.
who do you think would be like his best friend, and who do you think he would just straight up hate?
Like his best friend.
Like his best friend. And
Well, he would
someone who just
hate Tony Stark because of blinding jealousy.
Right.
And I don't know. Who would be his best friend? Maybe, I don't know, maybe he'd kind of dig Thanos.
Going straight for the bad guy. Yeah.
Well, he's the hero of his own story, isn't he?
Well, there you go. I could almost see a dynamic between Oliver Queen and Peter Parker, maybe.
Oh, sure.
So different, but also.
But I would be annoyed by his boyish enthusiasm.
Yeah. Well, it's sort of like the early like Barry Oliver, dynamic.
That's a good comparison. Very much so.
Yeah.
All right, thank you.
Cool.
Thank you.
Thank you. Hi there.
Hi, I'm Daniel.
Hey, Daniel.
Hey, Daniel.
Hi, I have a question.
Okay.
What is your favorite moment from season 7?
Good question.
My favorite moment from season 7. I haven't thought about that. It's a good one. Well, a lot of times my favorite moments are sad moments. But if I had to pick a couple of days that I really remember a lot, I had 2 days straight just working with Colin Donnell, who plays Tommy Merlin, right, the entire time. And he and I become really good friends. So it was a real treat to just get to work together for a couple of days.
Yeah. Thank you.
And I liked and a lot of the stuff that I got to do with William, because I like playing a dad and stuff like that.
You mean your son, William?
Yes, exactly right. I liked when I got mad at him because I got to break out my dad voice, which ironically is a lot like my Arrow voice.
I know.
Thank you, Daniel.
Thank you.
Thank you, Daniel. Hey, how are you?
Hi. I just want to say that I have full confidence in the final season. The first 7 seasons have been amazing, and I think that no matter what happens, I think that it will finish in good fashion. As the show does come to a close, what do you think is the greatest or the best message that fans should take away from Arrow?
From the overall series.
Yeah.
I think that and this just gets to as much as I like superhero television shows and superhero movies, and frankly, I better. I think the overall message is that Green Arrow certainly is not the biggest and most popular character in the DC canon. I'd go so far as to say that, it's not to say that he's not some people's favorite, but he certainly doesn't have the cachet of Flash or Aquaman or Superman or Wonder Woman or Supergirl or Batman or Nightwing or any other of Batman's sidekicks or any of the Batman villains or Lex Luthor. I mean, he's down the pile a little bit. And it just goes to show that if you build a show and you really focus on the relationships and what they mean to the central character, then you can take any source material and you can make it into something cool.
Thank you.
Thank you.
It's the power of good storytelling. I mean, you guys really rallied around something and made it your own, and then look, here we are.
Yeah, I mean, talking to David Nutter, who directed the pilot, his biggest goal was to establish that, Oliver's sister and mother and best friend and ex-girlfriend and that's what meant the world to him. That's what moved him forward.
Well, and just kind of follow up on that, the show has evolved. It seemed like strategically it was always about pushing it forward and then really looking like similar, to the character that we recognize from the comics.
Yep.
Is that sort of a lesson that you would take forward in your other projects, that constantly be evolving, constantly adapting?
You have to be ready to pivot at a moment's notice. I mean, Arrow was supposed to launch a show where we specifically did not want to introduce superpowers. Oops. But then we come out and we have some success, and DC decides that we can use the Flash as a property, and all of a sudden, now we have superpowers in our universe, or, we get a good guest star in episode 3, and now all of a sudden Felicity Smoke is, an integral part of the team. You've got to be ready at all times. When someone pops, when something works, really go for it. When something doesn't, don't be prideful. Just retreat and pretend it never happened.
Next question.
Hi, my name is Ron. I have a question I'd like to ask for myself, but when I was getting ready to get in line, a woman at the end of the row said she wouldn't let me out unless I asked a question for her, too.
Sure, okay.
My question is, talking about Arrow, how many people in the cast, or which people's in the cast, are actually adept at archery and or martial arts?
You don't want to get into a fight with David Ramsey, okay? And David Ramsey does not want to get into a fight with Michael Jai White. That's the biggest stretch that we've ever had in the history of the show, me beating up Michael Jai White. And I know everyone that has used a bow and arrow on the show has gone through lessons and has gotten pretty proficient. I know that Colton got really good, that Willa got really good. I won the biggest prize at the Pacific National Exhibition, which is like a carnival that we have in Vancouver in the archery game, because,
Which is so good, because the opposite of that outcome would not have been good press.
No. I was over in Australia and we did an event. It's like shooting arrows with arrow, and I hadn't actually shot in a while, and so I definitely snuck in before the event and got like 15 minutes of reps in. You know what I mean?
And what was the other question?
Yeah, the other question is from my new friend Terry. You want to wave, Terry? Yeah, the show.
Terry, that's a power move right there.
Oh, right? Yeah,
that's a power move. People can take notes. No, it's simple. You just sit on the end of the aisle, look at someone that looks very eager to ask a question, and then blackmail them.
Yeah. So what's Terry's question?
All right, Terry's question is this. Stephen,
she wrote it down for you and everything.
I wrote it down.
Wait,
I wrote it down because I wasn't going to remember it. So
I'll tell you what. I've got a better idea. I'll bring my microphone into the crowd and she can ask the question herself.
I have Parkinson's, so I'll shake it too much. Oh my God. Hi, how are you?
Why don't you just ask me the question? Okay, you ready?
When John Barrowman turns 60, are you going to deliver his birthday cake?
I don't even know what it is.
Beat it. Terry wanted to know if when John Barrowman turns 60, if I'm also going to deliver a birthday cake to him in a tiny bathing suit as well. It's part of the deal. Every 10 years, I put on a tiny suit and I deliver John Barrowman a birthday cake. He's back in the show in season 8, and that was actually a rider that he put into his contract. So,
Thanks from both of us.
Thank you. Very cheeky question, Terry. I like it. Hey there. Yeah, come on. Step up on the mic. How are you?
Good, how are you? Where do you think the Arrowverse will go with, like, what are their plans after Arrow's gone? Because Arrow is the structure for everything for it.
I'm going to just be a little bit of a buffer of a bad cop because we don't want to move into spoiler territory.
No, but you know, I think that kind of by definition, you know, once our show is done, then, in my opinion, Grant is Barry Allen becomes the central point in the universe for sure, and he'll do a great job with it. But I don't know, just don't start calling it the Flashverse, okay? And I question your loyalties already based on your outfit. But yeah, just keep calling it the Arrowverse. But no, you know, there will always be, you know, we just happen to be first, right? But what I actually think is I think that the crossover this year will do a really good job of answering that question for you.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
Although you know he's already editing like the Wikia pages for the Arrowverse right now. Clicking publish Flashverse. Hi.
Hi. So throughout all the seasons, you've had different love interests. Who do you believe that Arrow is truly in love with?
Felicity, for sure. Yeah.
Thank you.
Thank you. I got off easy on that one.
I know, that was pretty easy, yeah.
I thought I was going to have to be specific and rank.
I thought she was going to challenge you or like there was going to be a throwdown. No, it was easy. Hi.
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 Say you were a tree. What kind of tree would you be?
So now you get the hard question.
That's really easy. I'm Canadian. I would be a maple tree.
Perfect. Thank you.
Hi.
So would you rather be given a part on the Flash or DC Legends than Arrow?
I think I always like going to the Flash. I like that set. I mean, I like Legends too. It's just I went to the Flash first. And we have a lot of people there that worked on Arrow once upon a time, so it's always good to see them again. Thank you.
Thank you. Hello.
I'm terrified of the questions you guys are
I know,
asking
this
right
is
now.
like a whole...
I'm waiting for the other shoe to drop. And I think it might happen now, frankly.
If you were to be a Marvel superhero, who would you be?
Thanos. People think I'm kidding. I'm not kidding. Thank you.
I feel like any moment it's going to be like if a train leaves Boston at 8 a.m. and... Hi, what's your question?
If you played in a Dungeons and Dragons game, what would your character be?
Okay, well, you're going to have to stand back up because I have a follow-up question for you. I've never played Dungeons and Dragons, right? Oh, get over yourselves. But based off of what you know about me personally, or say like Oliver as the character, what should I be?
I'd say like an elven ranger because Arrow uses a bow, and yeah.
Okay. And then she's gone. She didn't want any follow-up questions.
Hi.
Hi.
So if you could recreate any movie, which movie would you recreate, and would you play a role in it?
Well, I only like movies being remade if I'm in them. What one would I redo? You know what? Oh, man. You know what would be really fun really fun movie to remake, and frankly, they probably should. I would like for them to remake Bloodsport. Okay? Except I don't want to play the Jean-Claude Van Damme character. I want to play his burly American beer-drinking sidekick.
Thank you. You're awesome.
You're welcome. Thank you.
I'm actually surprised they haven't announced some sort of remake or reboot of that.
Oh my God! I just spoiled my news.
Hi, Stephen.
Hi.
I'm from Canada, too.
Whereabouts?
Nova Scotia.
Okay.
So my question for you is, other than Ontario, what is your favorite Canadian province?
It's a great question. British Columbia, for sure. I mean, I love going to Montreal and Quebec City, and I love coming out to the East Coast. My sister went to school at or university at Dalhousie, which is in Nova Scotia for the non-Canadians here. And I filmed out in Newfoundland back in 2008, which I actually remember because I watched one of the Patriots Super Bowls out there before we started filming. You don't want to clap for this Super Bowl. You don't want to clap for this one. It was in 2008. Just do the math on that one. But British Columbia, for sure. I mean, I've been in Vancouver now for 8 years. Daughter was born in Vancouver. And I actually like the rain when we're shooting Arrow because I feel like it adds to the mood. But the stretch that we're in right now, July, August, and September, I don't know. It's basically the nicest place on the planet. It's fantastic.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Do you really feel like over the last several years, I mean, obviously Supernatural preceded Arrow in Vancouver, but Vancouver is really like CW town and then also Arrowverse town.
Well, I mean, it's Smallville town.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, I mean, Smallville preceded Supernatural. Yeah. I had no idea that Jensen Ackles was on Smallville, by the way, and I was like watching a rerun of it on TNT, like 11 o'clock in the morning, and he showed up, and I was like, wow, really? But yeah, no, Vancouver's been so great to us.
All right, next question.
Hi.
Hey.
What would be your number one piece of advice for someone going into acting as a career?
To treat it like a career. I know that the narrative tends to be that, you do nothing, and then you get cast as Oliver Queen, and it comes out of nowhere, and your cast is an unknown. Getting Oliver Queen for me was the 10th job that I had gotten in more or less a 20-month or so stretch. And they really, they appreciate it over time. Like one was, it was a one-day guest star here and a two-day guest star there and a recurring guest star here and then the lead in a TV movie and then being a regular on a 30-minute show and then, getting an offer for private practice and then getting Arrow. So A, treat it like a job because and build your way up, and B, there's no right way to do it. Like there's a right way and a wrong way to do an accounting problem, right? Or like long division. There's not a right way or a wrong way to do acting. I found a great coach. My wife, who's also an actor, went to said coach. Didn't work for her, right? In terms of his philosophy didn't mesh with her philosophy behind acting. So really work to find someone who you can learn from that speaks to you. One other thing. There was one other thing. Oh yeah. Show up on time.
That's a good one. Thank you.
Thank you.
It's the most important one. Buried the lead on that one. Show up on time.
Yeah. We only have time for 2 quick questions, guys, and we got to get out of here.
Is that true?
Yeah.
I talked too long.
Good afternoon, sir. My name is Lance Corporal Thomas Cashin, and I have one very interesting question for you. Have you ever considered doing a military-style show?
Yes. I haven't really had the opportunity. I was offered a movie on Netflix over the hiatus, and it didn't really work out just in terms of the time. But I would have been playing someone in the someone in the Army, for sure. I love military shows, really do.
Breaking my heart if you're gonna play in the Army. I'm a Marine myself.
I would, hoorah.
Hoorah.
Thank you, Lance Corporal.
Hoorah.
Thanks, man.
And final question.
All right, I'll make it real quick on you.
Okay.
So, can you just say happy birthday to my mom for me?
Sure.
Denise.
Hi, happy birthday. Is she here?
No, she's not here.
All right, well, happy birthday, Denise.
Awesome, thank you.
Did you get it?
I did.
Okay.
Yeah, but that wasn't a question, so we have to do one more.
Do one more.
Okay.
So it's only legally, required. Yeah. Hi.
Hi. This one I want to know. Out of all the suits you've worn throughout all 8 seasons, which one has been your all-time favorite one?
The season 1 suit, for sure.
Okay.
And in season 8, we tried to make a suit, and you can see it in the trailer that we put out at Comic-Con. We tried to make a suit that felt like it was an ode to the first couple of seasons, and we brought back the season 1 bow.
Okay, cool.
Just because I liked it.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, guys.
So Arrow comes back October 15th, right?
October 15th.
So, but in the meantime, go see this guy at his table, go get some photos, and go say hi. Give it up for Stephen Amell. Thank you so much, Boston.
Hi, this is Aaron Ashmore, and you are watching Fandom Spotlight. Be sure to like, share, and subscribe like now. Oh, and have fun and follow your fandom.